Hey guys, my name is Sediak and welcome back to another episode of FishTown here in City Skylines 2. Where last episode we may have gone a little bit heavy on the old cycling boys. And all of a sudden right now, as this bike is about to join the back of the queue, we have one of the biggest backlogs of bikes I've ever seen in the game. What is going on right now? We have solved our issue with potentially going bankrupt and replaced it with the world's biggest bike gem. What is going on right now? But welcome back, boys. Welcome back right now. FishTown seems to be growing and expanding pretty nice, and we've got ourselves in the position last episode where we've reinvested in services. We've got stuff all pretty much set up. But in return, I've created a whole new problem altogether. Now, before we go about trying to solve this little issue and seeing what we can pretty much do, today I'm actually going to build a new industrial area. Now, because we panicked trying to get as many people to move to the island as quick as possible, it happened a lot sooner than I thought, which now means we have unemployment at 10%. We are educating people, but the grand scheme of it, there is not enough jobs available. So we're going to build our secondary industrial area, and I'm going to build it around here. We're going to build it around there. I don't know if it's going to merge into this industrial area. We're going to say, let's just kind of keep it separate for now. And then that's eventually where my big main town with skyscrapers is eventually going to be built. So we can hopefully spread the job market a little bit more evenly. And also, hopefully, fingers crossed, spread those bikes. So if you are enjoying FishTown, want to see more, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new, don't rely on the recommended tab, boys, subscribe to be notified right now, and leave a comment saying something if we'll play some more, and we'll do just that. Now, first we're going to do then is check out the issue with the wind turbine. I think this is a battery depleted issue. It is, meaning we are consistently utilizing the power. Now, the power situation, we're actually importing power. No wonder we've got a battery being depleted there. So what we'll do is we're going to incorporate now a couple more additional wind turbines. So I'm going to place one there, and I'm going to place one just there. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but let me just get these all hooked up right now. So we've got to do it underground. Got to do it underground. There we go. And then we're going to do the advanced abilities for it, like the solar assist. We'll do the advanced rotary system. I'll give it the battery extension as well. I might as well do it for all of them. Get all the upgrades on them. Did I have it for this one? No. It's quite an expensive thing to do. But I'm hoping that now is enough that we're no longer going to be importing. So we've now reduced a little bit of our expenses, and the batteries can then recharge themselves at the same time. Right. Nice little kind of momentum there. I've seen a few comments talking about, Seniac, when are you going to build the water treatment plant? We'll build it soon, don't worry. I know we're still dropping poop into the ocean, and at some point, it's not just fish we're going to be catching. It's chocolate submarines. But I will sort it, do not worry. Now, I want to see if I can kind of quickly make some headway on this before we build our brand new industrial area. Now, one of the big issues, right, and I'm not the only one experiencing these bike issues. It's exaggerated for me for many reasons, and it feels exaggerated for me because I don't have private vehicles. People don't have cars on FishTown because they can't bring them in to the region. So we are almost a carless community minus the commercial vehicles, and it means everybody has to walk. Now, with the most recent update in City Skylines 2, they implemented bike lanes and bikes and all that sweet jazz, which I think, for me, it's kind of over-exaggerated itself, and it doesn't feel that balanced. But I have been seeing on TikTok and on YouTube people who have also been implementing bikes within their city. They're also having the same issues as well. Maybe not to the extent that I'm having because they have cars that can also deal with it. But I don't want to kind of delete stuff just yet. There is ways in which I can kind of like keep pedestrians separate or just run different bike lanes. My big issue with the flow is they're trying to turn into areas and they've got away, and that kind of slows them down and builds a backlog, like as if it was normal vehicle traffic. But as much as I want them to encourage them to use bikes, I'm also going to try and see if I can do ways to discourage them. One of those ways would be to enable my bus services, my public transport, to be completely free. So if I pretty much give them free public transport, and because of that, I'm going to up the amount of buses. So we'll do 18 there. That feels like a lot of buses, boys, but we're going to see what happens. I've got enough room for maneuvering there. And then we'll do the other bus line as well. So we'll make this free, and I'll up this to 14. Right, I'll come back at some point and then maybe get rid of some buses if it's a little bit too much. And then next, we got rid of the ability for our passenger ships to now land at this harbour because we moved them over to our brand new port section over there. Now I'm thinking, rather than delete this, why don't I replicate a secondary one over here and then do a free shipping route that allows people to transport over, maybe a bit quicker than cycling around, maybe. And then I can then pretty much have a connection between the two most populous areas currently on the island. Yes, it could be a complete waste of time and money, but we don't know that until we do that, do we? No, we do not. So I'm going to delete this, just back a little bit. Let's get rid of a couple of these trees. Oh, no! Boys, how many times have I now deleted the beach in FishTown? How many times have I now deleted the beach in FishTown? Oh, my goodness me. Someone stop me right now. What an absolute folio. I can't believe I keep doing this. I can't believe I keep deleting the beach. Someone needs to do a beach deletion counter this series, just so they can see how many times I do end up deleting the beach. And every time I delete it, somehow it seems to get a little bit bigger every time. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. We got to anarchy this, by the way. So let me just bring this quickly out and then run it down. Oh, no, did it not work? There we go. Right, the beach is now back in. Panic over. Panic over, boys. Right, so let me now just create a new little harbour. So we'll bring this down to be a bit smaller. And then I've got to try and remember as well how we did it. So how far did we kind of stick it out? All that jazz. I've got to do all the rock formation. There's a lot of stuff here involved. Now, if I kind of base it on the road first, so I know the road is a 120 in length. So if I base it off this and then do a 120 in length, that is the length of the road there, which is actually works out pretty well. And that is directly on the very end. So let me get my water, my breakwater ferry pier, which I've also just realized I need to put it on this side. Because the way it creates the breakwater kind of system to allow us to... Because if I do it there, then I don't really create a port area. It's got to be on this side. All right, there we go. So I can create the ships having a safer place to kind of land and dock. Which is pretty good because I can then connect that to it and then continue off. It should work really, really well. Now, are these hovering? These are slightly hovering. So we're going to... drop this down a little bit to the point where it doesn't create any problems. And then let me take a look over there. We did make it a little bit wider and a little bit bigger. So we're going to do the same thing here. And what I'm going to do, we're going to kind of semicircle it. What am I on here? Level tool. I want it to level at that height and then we'll smoothen it all down anyway. So let's do some softening, boys. So soften it up at the top here first. And then we'll do it from the back. And then just get it to smoothing around there. And the ship should come in fairly easy. So I will drop a bunch of rocks down. I kind of did like this. It kind of feels right. Some people are torn on this, but I kind of do like that vibe. So, right, let's get the shipping all connected first. So it's a narrow seaway that we kind of need. And why don't we just now bring you out slightly, do a little turn like that, delete this, delete that, and then what we'll do is we'll run this going out, run that going down, and Benjamin like that. So you got like a little S shape almost to get to and from the different piers. Right, what I can do now is just set up the little passing. So a boat line from there to there and then back again. Now, if I just quickly pause and select you, go to the boat line, we can then choose between the different style of boats. So we'll go with a... Let's just go with a small closed ferry and then see how we get on. We'll do one boat and we'll make it completely free. So I'll have to wait for that boat to now sail in from out of the region. And then we'll see what happens. This is kind of going to be pretty interesting. So what I'll do now is I'll sort out the bike path. Let me just get this now all pretty much connected back up. So if I bring it out to there, it's on the wrong side, but that's okay. All right, flip it around that way. There we go. At least we connect to there and it's walkable. I've got to do all the rocks and stuff, but I'll do that in just a moment. Let's just see how we get on. Right, there is so many people cycling. It's unreal the amount of people that are cycling. It's terrifying. So we'll see if that's any benefit whatsoever. We just truly don't know yet. We truly don't know. But it cuts that out. It's free travel. I don't know if it's going to be considered faster. I mean, with the traffic jams, it's going to be faster, but we shall see. We shall see, we shall see, we shall see. There's somebody already walking over here right now. Anybody else want to make their way down? I don't know whether they're an employee or just straight up wanting to utilize it. You look like you're about to walk. And you are traveling to here. Okay, you're about to use it. So we could argue everybody that uses it is one less person that's going to cycle, or at least one less person using my bus service. I don't know yet. But we'll see what this does for our huge jams. To be honest with you, our huge jams are dying down. So could have the free bus ticket been the way to solve it straight away? Who knows? But here's our little boat coming in now anyway. You can see there's people walking to the harbour, so they are going to find it pretty useful. Right. Let's leave that then, and let's now build our brand new industrial area, and then we'll come back and add the rocks. We'll see how this all pretty much settles down. So we're going to start over here then, and what we're going to do is we're going to build. First, we're going to set up. Do I want to do it 4 lanes? I mean, I know we've done it 4 lanes to a certain extent there. Is it something that will eventually kind of become 4 lanes? There is a huge possibility that it will eventually become a 4-lane system, all of that. So let's kind of have that in our mind that it will eventually become 4 lanes. And then if I just bring this up. So if I go just to there and then figure it out as if I'm going to give it a 2 gap space. So do the same here on this side. Give it a 2 gap space. And I don't know where I'm going to do the connection just yet. But I've got my space instead of either side for that to be upgraded to a 4 lane and not affect either side too much. So let's bring this down. And let's say I brought it to about there. And I think what would be a good idea is to implement some factories. So I'm not going to connect it all to there anyway. They're going to have to go that way and out. But I don't want to go too close in case we have to kind of eventually build like some kind of a junction. But if I build that to there, giving that space for us to breathe, and then we'll start by placing down a signature building with the fish in. So we'll do the seafood one. And does it make sense to go sideways? Or do I do it on this side? I kind of want a couple of these down. I might save these for a bit more space moving down. Or we just slightly reclaim some land for the sake of it. So if I dropped you in anyway, and I think I'm just going to reclaim a little bit of land here. So level the terrain. Just bring it out so I can get a road around the back end of this. Alright, like that. And bring you up. And let's just continue. Actually, no, I won't continue. We'll now smooth them. So let's do some smoothie. We'll go a little bit bigger. And we'll smooth it around there. And then we'll push this sea line back a bit. So always smoothing it from the bottom. And I feel like we might have inadvertently kind of created quite a high land formation there. Or is that me? Do you know what? We kind of did. Let me delete this back to there. And then we'll do another little quick smoothie now. And then let's run this round the back. So, keeping this going. Bring you to there. And what is the space to there is a 120. So from there to there is a 120. So that should be, if I'm not mistaken, yes, the back end of the building. Oh, does that need to be pushed over by one more? Oh, it does. Yikes. Okay. So rather than there, we do it here. Right, gotcha. And then this will set me up nicely, right, for doing the connection in. Now, I'm not going to do too many of them buildings because while they do turn the fish into food, they don't really provide the mass amount of jobs that I'm kind of after. They don't really do that. But now I've got my positioning all correct. We're going to run this going through. Very good, very good, very good. We're going to continue this going downwards. And continue you. Very good, very good. So there is a little bit of a mound there we're working with. And then we're going to now set up our beautiful grid system so we can implement a lot of factories. So something doesn't feel right there, if I'm being honest with you. So 112, bam, bam. Okay, that feels a bit better. That now does feel a bit better. We'll do the same thing over here, but I'm wondering if we should kind of maybe slightly bend it around, or would we have something different over on this side? It all depends on how it's going to work out. So a 112 works there. And I'm wondering if I kind of allow it to be... So if I went there and did a 112, I don't know whether this is going to be able to bend itself in. But I'm thinking of like a cool way to kind of end this. Right, hold on. So a 52 by a 55 is what we'll go with. A 77 by an 80. This could look completely horrible, but yeah, it does look completely horrible. Right, let's just not mess around, okay? Let's just not mess around. I'll come to the very end where that snaps. We'll bring this down. Ooh, it's going all over the place right now, isn't it? Right, there we go. And then we'll bring that to there. So we're kind of going to mimic it slightly. And then I reckon we create one more And then that will be the additional connection in here. And then we'll get all the zoning all set up. So, will that bend? I think it will bend eventually. But not just yet. Not just yet. So your 112, bam, bam, bam. That's going to run completely all the way over and then snap in. You're going to snap in. And then that's my industrial area here now set up. I know it's very square, but we will trim it, fine-tune it eventually. I actually feel like I might kind of create a little bit of like what feels like a park area, like an industrial park vibe. So that's a 112, and we'll go for a 112 bend. So it kind of ends just there nicely. So it kind of feels like we've brought this area to an end. And then it opens up a little bit of space around, gives us room for a junction if needs be. That's glorious. That should be pretty glorious. Right, so we don't have all the power, utilities and all that stuff running down. So I'm wondering if it's now time we look towards updating this to a 4-lane road. I'm just going to delete that back because I would like to be able to also implement bike lanes. And I don't think bike lanes is something that you can add onto a highway, is it? No. So if we upgraded this then to a 4-lane road. So place you all in. Should be no dramas. Alright, keep it going. There we go. And then, of course, upgrade that to have bike lanes. Now, this will also inadvertently bring its own power and sewage all the way down. But because this is a highway-style road leading in, we just need to get the sewage and water treatment connected. Oh, I've done the wrong one, haven't I? Right, let me undo. It's got to be you. There we go. So that there pretty much gets all connected up. Nice little industrial area here we're going to get set up. And then we're going to throw down all of our zoning. Now, the important thing is the wind for the industry is always going to be blowing away from where we're going to have the residential stuff. That's always the important part of all of this. So let's now just fill in these little blanks with the industrial stuff. And obviously we want to make sure that it's also really easy to access this area. So we're going to need to incorporate a bus route. We're also going to need to incorporate as well the ability for them to cycle over here, which we've got the bike lanes, but we're going to need bike parking. So let's go to car parks right now, and we'll go. The underground ones is kind of an interesting concept, because what I could do is I could incorporate the underground bike parking. Let's just say I did it, for example, I'm going to do one there and then one there. And then we're going to implement the ability. Now, do I keep it cycle lanes? To there, and then obviously that to there. And then that's where we're going to have our bus stop for this area. I mean, we could also have another one over here as well. That's not going to stop me. Yeah, I think we'll do that as well. So I'll incorporate you there, and then do another cycling system. Like that. Not bad. So we got bike parking either side. Now, these are underground. They do provide up to 452 bikes. We're not going to get anywhere near that. And yes, they were quite expensive. Yeah. But there we go. Right, garbage issues are creeping back up then. How's our recycling plant doing at the moment? It has all 13 vehicles out. It just hasn't had time for the vehicle to make its way over there just yet. But with more industrial areas means we can expand some more of those services as well. Right, that's now going to do what it needs to do. We're going to give this a new district. So if anybody in the comment section right now wants to give me some name suggestions for this new district, please let your boy know. Please let me know. There's still a lot of expansions we've got to do to it. There is so many expansions we've still got to do. But this should be pretty good. What happened over here right now? This is... has been burnt down. What is it? Oh my goodness me. Can I not... I'm just going to delete it. There we go. And it'll rebuild itself back again. Right, how's the little harbour here doing right now? It seems to be doing pretty good. There's a lot of people now walking off, so a boat has just left. It's now arriving over here. It seems to be actually utilised, that does, which is pretty good. Now, we still got the bike issue, but I'm going to throw it out there right now. I don't think it's as bad as it once was. So I think the combination of 3 buses and that little crossing here has made a difference, just not enough for me to get rid of the congestion. But there might be one too many connections, which is causing me to have a few little pains. But that's not bad. It just shows you that I just got to do minimal stuff to improve the bike lanes. Now, are we seeing many people cycling down here? Just out of curiosity, cycling to work? There's a couple making their way down right now, but obviously we would like to implement a bus service. Now, we do have a couple of bus routes on the go right now. We've got one that goes from up here in Kensington down to the harbour into Port Pollock. And then we have another one, which I haven't actually named right now because we didn't have a name for the new town. So this is obviously Kensington to 10. This is so hilarious. Tentacle. Am I spelling it right? Tentacle. 10. Hilarious, right? So funny. So funny. Do we need as many buses as we kind of have right now? I think I might reduce it down to 16. Because we're going to run it. We've got a bus service doing a big U shape here. And we got a bus service from there coming all the way down. So I think the bus service has to go from Tentacleton coming down into our new industrial area, which will eventually will continue before we add more services. So is there anywhere else around here that makes sense? I know we have a stop there. Would it be beneficial to have a stop around here? I think it actually might, to be honest with you. I think it might. So if I add you in there, and it's a shame really because, do you know what? I'll just keep it like that. I'll keep it in line with what's going on. As I say, it's a shame it's not completely lined up, but it's not the end of the world. Right, buses. We need the ones with the bike parking. Make life a little bit easier for us. And then every bus line that comes down here is obviously now going to have a stop there, which is only the one bus line. But it's a nice little additional. Now, we need to run a new line. So we haven't added the stops in just yet. We'll do one there, and then we'll do one there, one there. Now these will eventually continue on. So if I go there to there, and then make our way down. So first stop will be there, and then where that one turns, we'll continue on to the Tentacleton line. Oh, what a town name. It's hilarious, right? All the way up. And then I'm going to make it do the same point to turn around. Now, I don't think we need that many buses on this because it's only going to and from work. We're not going to see that much demand on it. So let me just see how many buses he wants to throw on here in the first place. So we'll make it 3. And we'll start with 6. Now, I'm concerned that we're going to run out of buses. So we're going to need to technically build an additional garage, right? Can I reposition this garage? No, I don't need to. We have a road there. What am I doing here, boys? What am I doing here? I'll put you... I'm going to put this one here. So it gives a little bit extra. But then I can kind of, in theory, run you up to there. and then cap the back end of it with a little road there. And then that should sort us out. So that gives us a fair few amount of new buses. So, yeah, I did need to add a little extension on. And now we've got buses going back and forth down here as well. So that plays a big role at the same time. Right, glorious. So in this little area then, we've actually provided up to nearly 1,300 jobs. So how much has that reduced our unemployment right now? Oh, down to pretty much record low numbers. Right, that's brilliant. Okay, that was hugely beneficial, wasn't it? That was hugely beneficial. Right. Oh, what's going on over here? We have an issue with car access. Just delete and get it back in. Right, how are these bike lanes now looking? I think it's the time of day, isn't it? Now we're getting them big jams back. It does start to look like it becomes the time of day. We start to notice them. So my options are, we got to start thinking about that. Do we want the pedestrians to share the same lines? I'm not 100%. Do I want it just to be biking? I mean, I really like the idea of seeing them, be able to walk. Or is it a case of, I'm going to need another variant of public transport? There's many things. There's many things to which are the issue. And it's a shame you can't do lane management on a bike lane. If I could have it like there was a dedicated left turn and a straight on, we would be fine. We would be fine. And to be honest with you, I think could we do something like that? Let me trial and error something here right now. Let me trial and error it just here. So if I had this, which I can barely see, like that. Oh, right, I can barely see any of this. Let me delete. Let me just do it here, guys, where I can see. Right, if I had you like that, could I then have we got a one-way system. Nah, because you need it to be bulked up and it just kind of wouldn't work. I feel like the developers missed a trick with this, like being able to have like bulkier lanes. I know it makes no sense, but being able to control the junctions would have been so much better. But yeah, I think it's a case of either getting rid of the pedestrian section, but that still is not the issue. Because they do have to wait for oncoming bike traffic, which is the problem. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Unless we change how they're able to do this. So I could set it up where all this was pedestrianized and then the bike path has to go directly into this road. Right. Let me just do a hear me out moment right now, okay? If this doesn't work, we'll revert it back to this nonsense we've currently got. But let me just delete you. I'm going to keep that in because there might be some handiness in it right now. Actually, no, let me delete you and you. Right. I'm doing a hear me out moment again right now, okay? So just bear with me a second. Is that a continuous curve? Yes. Right, do that like that. Obviously, I've got to flip it the other way. And then I want to upgrade this. I'll upgrade it to a wide pavement so we don't lose anything. So give me a second. This is going to be trial and error. Right, there's only so far I can take some of this. This is a trial and error moment right now. So if I was able to have the continuous curve... Oh. So, okay, that's going to obviously cause a lot of pressure on that junction. But, again, I'm having a hear me out moment. Don't crush my dreams right now. It would force them to end their journey on a path, on a road, sorry. Ooh, I can actually change this to being just solely biking. But I want to see what happens, because obviously forcing them to the road creates a different story. But forcing them to the road gives them 2 lanes to either do a dedicated left or a right. Or it could do if I had that kind of setup. So I want to see if it disperses them a little bit quicker. It could all literally just come down to perception. And then we keep the boardwalks free of them pesky cyclists. And just have our beautiful pedestrians walking, relaxing on the beach. I don't know how I feel about it. But if this kind of works, we'll see what pressures it puts on this area. Then I think that could be a benefit. I mean, because the bike traffic seems to have now just disappeared. So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm not completely sold on it just yet. Right, okay, so we still got those garbage issues. I'm now wondering if we need to kind of change to something a little bit different. We might need to look at doing a landfill site, and I don't like the idea of that. The Japanese one has run its course. It's more of the fact that it just doesn't have any ability for me to add any additional vehicles. It's more of a vehicle problem we're having on the garbage. Now, I could do like an incineration plant, which does give us up to 50 garbage trucks. Now, that is quite a large building itself. It is quite a large building itself, isn't it? But it's something that would be heavily needed. Okay, we're going to save for the incineration plant, okay, boys? That's what we're going to do. Right, we've got some abandoncy issues. Why are you abandoned? FishTown's a great place to live, guys. It's a great place to live. Right. How are the bikes now looking? We do have a heavily reduced amount of people utilizing bikes now at this point. Or they're able to just flow a lot easier. I don't see much of a problem. Do you think that has technically solved it? I mean, we got, oh my god, that's the worst place to have a traffic jam now, or have a crash. Is right there. The worst place, which is hindering everything else, isn't it? Yeah. Right, okay. Okay, we got you, boys. We got you right now. So, let me check the job market now. We have a couple of open positions, so you could argue we do have the ability to now maybe think about extending. So, we'll do some medium density around here real quick. Get a few new people moving in. And I don't think we're doing too bad. Now, because we have free public transport, there is now a lot of people waiting for buses. When's the next bus on the way down just here? Is that going straight ahead or is that turning? That one's turning. How many people are waiting? 25. Right, here comes a red bus right now, which is already filled to the brim. So, is it worth maybe us adding... What is this here? Maintenance? Oh no, not to the bus depot. Oh, no, because the passengers are now gone. Oh, it's a tricky situation, isn't it? It is a tricky situation. Right. So we are going to hold out for the $1 million for the garbage. I think, again, I know I've got loans, but I'm going to borrow another $500,000. Okay. It does mean I've got $2 million in loans at this moment in time, but I'm going to incorporate and build my incineration plant. It's something that we are probably quite desperate to get. So we'll build it here. Is that... Yeah, we'll build it here, boys. We'll build it here. So... should be fine. Now, do we just do like a smaller little road connection? So I'm just going to build it to there and just kind of do a little bit of a left and right. And then we'll figure out how we want to position this. Or where we want to place it. I reckon we go about there. So if I have that, and if I quickly just build a perimeter road. And then pause, delete, delete. Okay. And then we'll do a proper road connection. Like that. Now, we do need to sort out the wiring issue. And that is to connect it up to here. Like that. That solves that problem. And now we're going to have a lot of garbage. We're going to have 50 garbage trucks, which theoretically I could now get rid of this. So I'm going to get rid of you. And the incineration plant is now replacing that recycling center. Yes, it's not as environmentally friendly. I'm very, very well aware of this. Okay? But it's 50 trucks we can have apart from the measly, what was it, 13 trucks we had from the recycling center. So now garbage can be collected a lot easier. Plus this will produce a little bit of power. So give this now a little bit of time. That's all we can do at this point, is give it a little bit of time. So with that excess money, we're going to drop down some industrial. Very good. And we do now start... Well, we actually now starting to get a bit of a health issue again. So we do have 2 medical facilities. I'm wondering if we can first initially upgrade them. No. So we're going to have to actually look at maybe building something a little bit bigger, which I don't have the cash for. But also we've got like a death care issue as well. And our only death care is over here. Now we can actually make this a bit bigger, but it's limited to 4 vehicles at the same time. So this, we could actually look towards building a crematorium. Now... building a crematorium, we would want it in a nice little area. I'm thinking maybe around here could be a good shout. Yeah, somewhere around here could be a good shout for a crematorium. So why don't I just slightly extend this road. Like that. And then we take care. I mean, I could build a cemetery, but that's way too big. I'm just going to build a simplistic crematorium. Now, we could add extensions to this at some point in the future. This does have the ability to use 10 vehicles, but more importantly, it has the hearse garages, which I'll keep it to 10 vehicles for now, and I'm not going to do any extensions for it just yet. I'll just keep it like that. Okay, we'll just keep it like that for a minute, because once I've got a bit more funds, then we can do some proper extensions for it. So that will take care of the excess def needed. Right, and looking at all the bikes. Okay, there's now a lot more bikes appearing. It's all dependent on the time of day, but we're not seeing those bike issues as we once was. There's a little bit of traffic over here now. And it's a mixture of the buses trying to skedaddle and everything else being all connected, but that might need to be upgraded to a 4-lane road at some point as well. Okay, right. Healthcare is my concern next. Now, I want something a little bit bigger with a little bit more capacity. We're using these small little medical clinics, which are great. It's fine. But we need something like a hospital. Oh, a hospital is going to be too expensive. So I could do I can replace one of them with a southwest one, which does have a little bit more patient capacity. Still only 3 ambulances, but like I said, a little bit more patient capacity. Where are they currently? I'm trying to wonder what would make the most amount of sense. Are we actually using... Oh, no, that's a thingy. This parking we are. I might rejig... Hold on. How big is that? See, it could fit within here. Right, I'm going to get rid of you. I'm going to reposition you. And in theory, I could reposition it here. And then the police station, I'm going to reposition over on this side. And then the hospital, we're going to position here. And it does have an upgrade to add an extra 3 ambulances. There we go. Right, that's just become a more high-capacity medical facility. So now all the ambulances will spring out and do what they need to now do. Right, a little bit complex. Give that time, but now we can kind of cover more areas. Right, abandoned building decreases citizen happiness. Why has the building become abandoned? I'm not particularly too sure there. Is it a lack of people? I don't know. Right, give that time for that stuff now to kind of settle in. We have a connection issue here by the looks of it. There we go. And let's add some rocks to this real quick so I can kind of finalize this because I'm going to instantly forget about it if I don't do it. So let me just grab and do... How far out do I want it to go? I want it to kind of go in the water slightly. So let me do like my outer layer. So I'm going to do my outer layer. And how far did I take it? It kind of fizzled out on the bend, didn't it? So it's going to fizzle out around there. So let's do like a rough outline. Yeah, so I'm singly placing them right now. We can place multiple. But I think my landscaping here is actually ruining things. Let me change some of the borders up as well. Right, if I did maximum brush strength, reduced the brush size. I mean, this works, but you can't fine-tune it as well as doing them singly, can you? You can fine-tune it so well. There we go. I could do this all day. I could be placing rocks down for days. I really could. But it's to give us that same vibe. Oh, we actually followed the road a bit. I've just realised that. Now, I've got that feeling I'm doing too many rocks. But that's part of it, right? I don't want it to be completely identical. I want them to kind of also feel a little bit different. And I feel like it does. I feel like it does the job there. Right, let's get some larger trees. Right, there we go. Beautiful little harbour there. Beautiful little harbour, boys. It will do the job. It will do the job. Right, the jams are back. Okay, the jams didn't last long. The hot jams didn't last long. I mean, it's actually not too bad over here. I feel like we might need to do something similar here then. So why don't I allow it to kind of make its entrance into one area and then that's it. So we've kind of figured out a way in which we can kind of not solve the bike issues, but ease their burdens. So if I did that, that should naturally bring them all to an end. But I don't like how they're having to stop there. They should keep continuing. So pause, delete, delete, delete. For the love of God, Seniac, do not delete the beach. Do not delete the beach, boy. Right, there's an access issue now here. Oh, hello. What's going on here? What in the world just happened there? Explain that one to me. Right, okay, so this should be the final push now. Right. Now they don't need to stop, which is perfect. Obviously, they've got to stop there at that junction. But this is perfect. They will now freely flow through, and then now there is an endpoint to where they can ultimately cycle to. So they might take alternative routes, but it also limits the amount of bikes. So the cycle route is now a lot shorter. So we'll see how we get on with that. Right. Give that now a little bit of time. Give that now a little bit of time. Get some more beachfront properties down. It will put a lot of pressure on that junction. But it should be okay. Because they will be able to let a large amount of bikes through. So once it's cleared then, we shouldn't really have that issue continuing. But yeah, it's not too bad that. Now we can make them flow with relative ease. So we'll keep an eye on it. It will be an issue continuing. It will still be an issue, but we'll keep an eye on it. Right. Not all the ambulances have been dispatched. There's a medical emergency right here waiting for an ambulance, literally on the road next to the hospital right now, which is kind of hilarious. But I'm hoping those ambulances will kind of cycle themselves round. There's been a crash at the harbour, which is not looking too good. And what about our fish? We've got 9 kilotons in storage. Oh my goodness me. Right, who's exporting the fish these days? You've got, metal on board. Oh, you didn't even come to me. Okay, fair enough. You've got fish on board, food on board. So the exports are still going out. It's what we like to see. We've provided more jobs. You could argue we've almost fixed the little biking issue. We've created a new river crossing. We've got new bus lines. We've now increased our garbage processing abilities. We've got new medical facilities as well, which are hopefully going to do magic for us. Everything is pretty much setting us all up right now for those expansions. It pretty much is. So I think we can breathe a little bit easy knowing that we're not going to go bankrupt now. Things are running smoothly and we can now start reinvesting into the island. So things I need to do, we need to think about at some point building a water treatment plant. That is like a #1 priority that we're going to have to add to our lists because we're just polluting the oceans at the moment, and that's not a good thing. That is 100% not a good thing for us right now. And what else do we need to do? We've got the garbage down. We need to start thinking about making plans for the bigger city. And it's wild to say this, we need to think about as well plans for a new form of public transport on top of our buses. Do you think FishTown could benefit from a subway system? I feel like it could. It would be fairly interesting, but I feel like it actually could right now. But yeah, I think we've now quite pleasantly aided the bike system. I've got a beautiful walking system right now for our passengers to be completely free. Nice little ferry crossing, which works out really well for us at the same time. It just seems to now be slowly coming together. We've still got some issues that we need to solve. I've got to widen the road going through Kensington. That is a big priority we've got to do as well. And yeah, it's all slowly coming together. So before we end it, these are our top exports right now. It's 83% fish. Now, food and convenience food is also a byproduct of the fish that get produced from the factories. But it's interesting to see we've got like 0.1% in vehicles, paper, and petrochemicals. That's kind of hilarious. Oh, and machinery has just popped up as well. But the main gist of our economy is the fish industry. We've got to figure out at some point how we're going to repay our loan back as well. We're going to figure that out at some point, which I can't really pay much back because I don't really have that much money. But we're making good profit, boys. We are making very good profit right now. So, give me a name suggestion for our brand new industrial area in the comments section down below. We do have a train line we can maybe think about utilizing at some point as well, which would be pretty exciting, but we are going to end it here. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, please smash that like button down below. And until next time, I will see you all soon. So, goodbye.